Let's get back to the business. The South and West Chambers are pleased to present our podcast showcasing some of our most successful members. Let's get into the business. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Once again, welcome back to the Business Podcast. I am Ariel Jr., your president and CEO for the South Chamber. Today's special guest is Gina Vara of Vara Chevrolet. She's also going to be serving on our board of directors, and I can't thank her enough for doing that. But hey, Miss Gina, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming to the show. Tell us a little bit about, I guess let's get to know Gina first, because we know a lot of folks on the Southside know Vara Chevrolet. But Gina grew up, where'd you go to school? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I grew up all over the city, actually. Sure. I grew up about till the age of 5. I guess you call it the West Side now. Sure. Near St. Paul Catholic School. Okay. And then we moved to Corpus for a little bit, moved back, and we ended up near the 281 in Bitters area. Uh-huh. And then Monte Vista, and eventually the Southside. I went to Incarnate Word High School. Okay. And went to UTSA for a little bit, and then transferred out to Colorado. So I went to the University of Colorado up in Boulder and graduated from there.
What'd you study?
Literature.
Well, let me ask this question. So the family business most folks are very familiar with Vara Chevrolet. How long you guys been in business?
Since 1990. I was 8 years old.
You were 8 years old.
Yeah.
So the Corpus move was before that.
Yes. That was late 80s.
What were y'all doing in Corpus?
My dad they opened a dealership down there, but then decided to sell it. It was called Harbor Hyundai. Okay. And he was with Volkswagen, Hyundai, and then acquired the dealership in 1990. And
the Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you guys have been in business ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So then Gina says, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do this. Did you ever anticipate you were going to come back to the family business?
No.
No, that wasn't going to be a thing.
When I was little, I would sit in my dad's chair and swivel around. I'm like, I'm going to be the boss. Well, no, and then I came back. I said, oh, no, I don't want to be a part of this.
Well, how about this? Growing up around a car dealership, I'm pretty sure your families are car people, huh?
Yes.
They love cars.
Yes.
And so any stories that you remember, like growing up about, a certain car your dad brought to the lot or anything like that?
He drove around in a used truck, and for some reason that embarrassed me. Uh-huh. And I would be the kid that would, hide at the bottom of on the floor. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I know what you're doing. You're hiding. I was like, it's an old truck.
And given that you guys had new trucks, right?
Yeah. But I think it's cool now. And he stayed humble, and he raised us to be that way.
Right. Well, that sounds like my dad. My dad, when we were growing up, Mom and us had the newer cars, and he drove the used cars. So I'm sure that's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So literature. Did you want to be a writer, or what was your
kind
thoughts?
of? Actually, when I was little, I loved to read and write, and I still like to read. Sure. I need to get to reading more, actually. But we are reading a book in that class I'm taking right now. But I really was an avid reader as a kid. That was my favorite store at the mall.
Okay. And, it's a shame that, bookstores, the flow of those, but hopefully those continue to come back. I know there's that small one on the corner of South Cross and Flores, Dead Tree Books. Shout out to them. Thanks for doing business on the South Side. Well, you mentioned the Leadership Academy, that you're part of our Leadership Academy, the City South Leadership Academy. How's that been going? Have you enjoyed that academy?
It's great. I actually had to present our first class back in October. Uh-huh. And I was nervous.
I bet.
I'm terrible at public speaking. Terrible. I even get nervous at our meetings at work. I turn red and I start to shake, and it's embarrassing.
So I guess the Leadership Academy has been helpful then to maybe get you out of your comfort zone on those things. Yeah,
definitely. And you get to see other people speaking, and you see yourself.
Sure.
So you're in your mind, you're telling yourself, stop stuttering.
Yeah. Well, look, and I think most of our chamber members that come to our events know when I go up there, when we introduce guests or speakers, it's not my favorite part of my job either. I'd rather organize the thing than have to speak in front of people. I think you're maybe the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, you mentioned the Leadership Academy. I took part of it too. It got me out of my comfort zones. I think you've been involved in this COVID class, so to speak, that you guys maybe were a little bit online more than in person, but we're hoping we can give you guys a good graduation, and then maybe hopefully, keep you guys plugged into some of the tour sites that we want to make available. I know you guys weren't able to take the Toyota tour, right?
Right.
Yeah, and those are little things that the Academy does that we're going to make sure hopefully you get the exposure to that. Well, getting back to the family business. So Gina comes back to San Antonio, and dad and mom put you to work, or how did that go?
I came back. I went to the dealership for a little bit in 2011, and then I ended up on political campaigns.
Okay.
And I got thrown into the social media aspect just because I made a comment about Twitter, and they said, "Oh, you're going to do it from now on." I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
What year was this?
2011.
Okay. Well, that's all right. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And so I did that for a year, and then I went back to Vara Chevrolet.
How did you like the campaign work?
I enjoyed it. The block walking, not so much, but great exercise.
Yeah. Well, so I dabbled in that also. So yeah, at the beginning of my career, that's what I was doing, was managing political campaigns, if you will. And yeah, the grassroots component, the outreach, a lot of it is very similar to business. You can spread the word, get the word out about what's going on, and make sure people get connected to that. Well, now that you've been at Vara, what are you doing over there now?
Gosh.
What's the role, I guess, the title?
I handle the payroll, HR, inventory, advertising, social media, again, all of that. Yes.
Okay. And how you mentioned speaking to the team, how big is the team out there at Chevrolet?
Right now, I think we're at 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So significant employment. How did COVID, how did you guys fare out during COVID? Were folks still shopping? I know you were doing everything that you could to keep your salesmen safe, your consumers safe, but how did it go?
It went well.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, we were shocked. We thought we were going to have to shut down, and they deemed us essential.
Right.
So we just went into COVID mode.
Sure.
We put up the plexiglass. We, took down doors that, we didn't want people touching door handles as much as possible. And we have greeters now that take temperatures. But it was shocking how many people wanted to buy vehicles during that time, and still.
And I think a lot of it had to do with the banking and finance rates were dropping, and it was a good opportunity to maybe get a car loan or even refinance car loans.
People were bored.
Yeah.
A lot of people were working from home, and I guess it was a break for them.
Yeah. So. Well, and speaking of bored and maybe looking into new things and seeing new technologies, I myself, I like my car, but I've noticed like maybe the past 2 years, like these exponential changes in like tech and things that are, it's crazy with this stuff I've seen in these cars. Is there any particular model or brand that you could brag about that you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
All of them. They're basically computers that we drive now.
Right.
Technicians have to be fully versed in computer.
It's no longer just
it's
a wrench
not, it's not wrench and grease. It's computer.
Yeah. Well, and I've been blown away by some of the dashboards I've seen that are just like you said, it's like a 2-screen computer in your car. I can't get over that.
Yes, it's crazy, and it talks to you. Sometimes I yell at it. I'm like, I want to go here. I don't understand you.
What's your favorite car?
Well,
it doesn't have to be a new one.
I think it's mine. Mine. I get sad when I have to put it in the shop, and it was in the shop recently, and it's Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is it because of your affinity for Colorado, or
probably weird like that? No, it's a small truck, and my friends from other states are like, "Oh my God, you drive a truck?" I was like, "It's small compared to other ones."
Yeah. Well, the new models are nice. I have an older Colorado. The little. What do you call those crew cab ones? The little door.
Oh, the double cab.
Yeah, a half door, if you will. The older one. But yeah, the new ones look pretty cool. Yeah.
Mine's not new.
That's what it's like mine. Well, your family, the family business has been a legacy. We've tried to. Your father's been nominated several times for Legend of the Southside through our organization. And several times he's humbly turned us down because, again, like you said, he's a very humble man, and he kind of acts like, oh, I don't know where this is coming from. Well, where it's coming from, and you could tell your dad, is that obviously to be a staple dealership on the South Side, that means you've been employing folks for quite some time. You've made an impact on lives, so to speak, not only through that employment, but most people's first cars, most people's first memories, most people's first experiences have been facilitated by y'all. So are there any like stories or like any kind of heart? I'm sure you have maybe some kind of story that touched your heart at some point that you might remember, or something fun that from just working in the dealership? I have family that my uncle is a car salesman, and man, cars, they become a hoot. Like they are fun guys to work with. I see that their camaraderie is very fraternal, if you will.
Yeah.
Anything you want to, or maybe even shout them out or something?
They're just funny. They're, we've got Carlos there, Carlos Jimenez, and he's just a clown. But he's one of the top salespeople.
I bet.
They have to be personable. You don't want to go in there and,
Yeah.
Hey, you want to buy a car? No, I don't. Not from you.
Yeah, drive personalities don't go very far in
Yeah.
car dealerships. Well, let me see. How about this? Also, that you've been back working at the dealership how long?
Since 2013.
Since 2013. Have you noticed any changes in the area that you could speak to beyond the dealership? Maybe the surrounding area. Things that you've noticed.
It's growing. I know even south of us, they're building, I think, a warehouse. There's another dealership going up across from us, or it was. Now I think it's being graffitied.
Oh, no.
But I see growth, and, we're always hiring, and we try to support other Southside businesses.
Okay.
So if you're a business, we want to work with you.
Yeah. So I'd imagine through your procurement services that you need, basically, you have not only the needs for the cars, but basic needs to run a business, basically,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, be sure to connect with Gina. So Gina, let me see. What else can we talk about? Well, I want to thank you, your family, for being dedicated chamber members. Not all dealerships on the South Side are, and so can maybe you speak to why your family's just even contributed and invested and been involved?
Because it's important. You guys do so much for the South Side, and my dad recognizes that, and he wants to help grow the South Side and contribute to the community and get the youth involved as well. He's trying to reach out to people right now to get kids out to camp. And we learned about that in our last class, the leadership class, camps that get kids from the inner city out into the sticks,
Yeah.
So he's working on that right now, but that's why we're part of the Southside Chamber, because it gives opportunities to Southsiders. Well,
and you're talking about opportunities. You mentioned the technical training now that maybe is evolving in your industry. You're seeing the partners like Palo Alto and A&M take the vocation seriously, just the same as high schools do. What do you, I guess, anticipate the future of your business? What are those needs that you anticipate?
We need technicians.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, oh, well, it's not a high-paying job. Yeah, it is.
And
even the apprentices, it's a paid program.
Right.
And we're teaching the young techs to grow into master techs. And it's amazing. Just the work that they can do. It's, all the schematics. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's impressive.
It's computer programming,
yeah.
Right? Basically. Well, and to that point, so then how, I guess for those folks maybe interested in becoming a technician and saying, well, I only know, these mechanical components, because we've also acknowledged in our backyard, and we're trying to continue to see a different composition of businesses, but a lot of us know what we know, right? And our parents showed us what they showed us. And you see generations of mechanics, so to speak, that might be versed in the old school and this new school that we're talking about. Where is there like certification programs within Chevrolet, or is this something they have to go get a degree from, or how does this look?
It's usually an associate's degree, and they do go to St. Philip's.
Gotcha.
But there's continuous training through GM, through Chevrolet, through our dealership, or with whatever dealership you're with. It's just, until you quit, you're constantly training.
Well, and with your business, you're always needing to get the word out about not only you need more technicians, more salesmen, more. What right now are you in need of besides technicians too?
Customer service reps. So they're called the BDC. It's the Business Development Center for service. Right now in sales, they're pretty set, but for our service side, we do need the techs. We need service advisors and the service BDC.
Okay, so you're hiring. So
yes.
We're
hiring.
Okay. Well, and for those folks maybe that don't know where to find you guys, online or
they can submit a request through our website, vada.com. They can go on indeed.com, and we've got our jobs listed on there. They can call us, email me, Gina@vada.com. There's several ways you can.
So I also know dealerships, it's like a microeconomy that you're partnering not only, obviously, like I mentioned, some services you need, but the banks and the lenders. And is there any shout outs you want to give to, I mean, I'm sure too many to mention, right, that you guys do business with?
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Generations and, what are the other ones?
Oh, all of them, right?
Security Service and Frost and, my goodness, Ally, GM Financial.
The credit unions have really stepped up in the car loan game,
yes.
Huh? Yeah. I think I got one of mine through a credit union, to be honest with you, too. And at the time, maybe my credit wasn't the best, but it's certainly better. And I'm maybe in the market here for a new car, too. Let me see. What else can we talk about? You mentioned the youth. I know you guys give back. Is there anything you wanted to highlight in specific also beyond that?
Well, we did support St. James the Apostle volleyball team. Shout out to the Lady Mustangs. They did awesome.
What'd they do?
I think they won regional.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Their season is done, but I want to give a shout out especially to their coach.
Okay.
Coach Samantha Aguirre. She beat cancer.
Oh.
And
so Coach Sam works at MixFit too, right?
She used to, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And now she's focusing on training her clients that are dealing with cancer or battling with that. And, she's just stayed so positive. Her and her daughter is the volleyball player. And it's just great to see. If
there's someone that could beat cancer, it's definitely her, right? Like
yes.
That attitude that can do, she won't be beat. Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously, well, if they did so well, yeah. So, Gina, I mentioned that you're going to be on our board of directors. We're excited to have your leadership. I know that I personally reached out to you. I know Bob reached out to you. I know you were, on the fence a little bit. Bob ended up telling me a little bit honest, kind of intimately on why you ended up saying yes. Do you mind sharing any of that?
Dude, I don't even remember.
So he mentioned that you and your dad talked a little bit.
Yes.
And that your dad said that you should, basically. And so I'm filling in the gaps.
I'm sorry. I've got so much going on.
Well, in so many words, I was led to believe that your dad says that this is important for a woman also to be on a board of directors. Yes. and help a Latina woman to help influence our decision-making process. And you certainly are a sharp one that I think you help advance a lot of ideas that we have going forward. Are there any shout-outs besides the family and Coach Sam that you want to give out right now to the pub?
I think to another board member, my friend Stephanie Garcia.
Okay.
At Port SA.
Yeah, we have two Stephanie Garcias, by the way.
Okay. Little, short, blonde one.
We're familiar with Stephanie from Port. Yeah.
Stephanie Sunshine Garcia.
Yes,
that's her name.
That's literally her name, I know. No, she's been great. She's real active in our Alamo City Electrothon, which I know you're hip to, is it's our, and this is very much in line with Vara Chevrolet and those techs that you need. Toyota Motor Manufacturing helps us put on a vocational STEM race, if you will, where the kids put together a little go-kart and they race it, and it's really all that kind of technical vocational training that they need for jobs like with you or Toyota and several partners in the area. So basically, I'm trying to solicit you. We're going to get you involved now that you're on the board. We're definitely going to get you involved.
Great.
You got voluntold. Gina, let me ask, are there any beyond, you mentioned Corpus Christi, the memories, do you have any memories of Corpus?
I do.
Yeah, good ones?
We weren't too fond of it. I mean, hello, Selena's from there though, so yay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was great. And we did hang out at that bay. That one scene from the Selena movie where she's doing the washing machine.
Well, I went to college there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So did, shout out to our production team at Edda University. They also are out at Corpus Christi. That's why I was asking, just curious, your Corpus knowledge. Also, where I'm going with this is the region that I see South Texas, and you mentioned the timeline around 2011. I remember even like 2006. The South Texas economy just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like we were on a trajectory of change. And so by and large, why I even went to school in Corpus was we didn't even have A&M San Antonio at the time, so to speak. And so from maybe my question here is, so from the early 2000s, early 2000s to today, how would you see, what would you kind of say the economic growth looks like? I'd say it's been crazy. I never thought South Texas would blow up the way we are, blowing up. Any thoughts, especially relative to your industry?
I didn't expect it. I never expected it. I always thought, it's kind of sleepy.
Right, we're always going to be sleepy cow towns kind of thing. Yeah,
it's great to come back, fiesta, and you come back for the tamales during Christmas. But I never thought it would blow up like this. Like up in Austin, you've got it's little Silicon Valley.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so to that point too, Austin like just blew up, right? And then San Antonio, I think I'm excited about our opportunities here. Is you're seeing folks leave Austin just the same as they're leaving California, that they're being priced out. Some of the jobs that they can get can't even meet the level of income they need to pay a mortgage there in that town. That I know folks are more looking at San Antonio more and more. And where we grew differently, and I think you might agree, is it didn't get so just typically urban Disney-fied, where all the buildings look the same and everything looks like it. A lot of San Antonio kept its charm and character, and yes, it's growing, but it's still us, right? I mean, would you say?
I think so. I do think we still have to be careful, though, because I do see apartments popping up, and, where are these folks going to go that have the houses around there?
Sure. No, to that point, the gentrification is a word that gets thrown out. With Southsiders, and I'm pretty sure you notice this with your clientele, a lot of them have generationally lived here, stayed here, will always stay here, will never leave here, and they own their home. Yeah.
So it is sad when people are saying, hey, I'm going to have to move out, or I'm going to have to move into an apartment, and we don't want that.
Right.
We want to support, the South Side, the East Side, the West Side, and help those areas grow. We don't want to see all this gentrification.
Right. Tell me any promos before. Well, we're about to hit the minute mark here. Any promos that you want?
We always have promos.
So just check the commercials in the website.
Yes. Yeah. Look out for our English commercial or Spanish commercial. My Spanish isn't that great, but
you got staff that can deliver too. Any also too, like online tools. I know that's been a big thing in the industry, right? Like going online and seeing what folks like. Can they check out your inventory online?
Oh, definitely. And we do deliver to the house. You can buy online, do the paperwork, and we just take it to you.
Did you find that happening more during COVID?
A little bit, but really, it was just shocking. Like, people wanted to come in.
Yeah. And I will say this: our Southsiders are very traditional. We're not. Yeah, you
very hands-on.
Very hands-on. We want to see it. We want to touch it. We want to look. We want to know it's there. Right.
We love you for that.
Well, folks, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We've been talking to Gina Vara. Be sure to visit them at vara.com.
Yes.
Also, what's the address?
8011 IH35 South.
Be sure to check them out. You have been given the business by the South San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us.